Why didn't you write it
today,
down and read it?
today we're going to talk about part two of the young seaman Dick Broderick's experience aboard the USS Iowa. As I've told you, they had President Roosevelt and all the top advisors of his, including Secretary of State Cordell Hull, many other civilians that I don't know, and generals and admirals, including Admiral King and Stark, uh, General George C. Marshall, and Hap Arnold that I know of, and probably more. Um, they were on their way to Tehran, and they decided out in mid-ocean to show President Roosevelt the massive firing power that the USS Iowa had, which at the time was the best in the world, although the Japanese had the Yamato, and there was another Japanese battleship that was bigger. They had 18.1-inch guns on the Yamato and the Yasushi. I'm not sure if it was the Yasushi. Anyway, the Yamato was bigger than the Iowa class, but not many were bigger than the Iowa class in the world. And they were going to show the president what this thing could do. So they had barrage balloons out, and they were allowed to fire at them, and they were firing 5-inch guns. A battleship at that time would have had about 45-inch guns and just a ton of 50 caliber and 40 millimeter anti-aircraft. They were firing all these to show the president what it would do. And as they were doing this, there was a ship called the William D. Porter. That's where we get into a possible assassination attempt. Um, as the Iowa was firing, they were under strict radio silence. And as the Iowa was firing, these other ships began to practice and fire. Um, so they're firing away at these barrage balloons, and all of a sudden, um, the Willie D. Porter is practicing, and they're shooting their their smaller rounds and stuff at these barrage balloons, and all of a sudden the captain gives the order to fire torpedoes. And the first one, the captain goes, "Fire one." Nothing happens. And it shouldn't happen. Nothing should happen. It's just a practice for the gunners, the torpedo gunners, to go through their procedures. And fire two. And then all of a sudden they get to fire three. Nothing happens as it should. Nothing should happen. They get to about fire four, and all of a sudden a live torpedo from 6,000 yards, about 3.5 miles, which is nothing for a torpedo, takes off at the Iowa. Um, uh, it's actually in the water. Dick Broderick sees the thing coming at the Iowa. He hears the captain up above him because he was in a battleship. His battle station, general quarters, was the 16-inch turret. They weren't firing these to impress the president. Those are too violent and probably too expensive. But anyway, Dick heard the captain holler down, "Torpedo incoming starboard," and Dick thought, What are they talking about?" And he looked and he saw it. So come back next time, folks, and I'm going to explain to you what happened. This torpedo did detonate. It did explode. Come on back next time and we'll talk about it. Check out Larry Martin's World War II in Their Own Words series. Look at my website at lmww2, the number 2.com, and you'll see all these YouTube videos. Let me know what you'd like to see in here. Thank you, folks.